Bismillah. The mic is perfectly fine, Brother Yusuf. I think your voice is a bit low.
Assalamu alaikum, folks. To the Islamic Center of Ireland tonight for this community iftar. We'd just like to ask everyone to move a little closer if possible, because as sunset comes closer, more and more people will arrive, so the more space we can leave at the back of the rest of the service will be on the stage.
You're right next to the
So we've currently got about 40 minutes or thereabouts left until the actual breaking of the fast. So we're going to begin with the recitation of the Quran and then a translation of that. And then we'll have a few speeches both from Sheikh Dr. Umar, Chairperson of IMPIC and Chief Imam of the Islamic Center of Ireland, and also from a few comments from some of our guests. So without any further delay, I'd like to invite Sheikh Ahmed to recite from the Quran. Assalamu alaikum. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ولا تفسدوا في الأرض بعد إصلاحها وادعوه خوفا وطمعا ولا تفسدوا في الأرض بعد إصلاحها وادعوه خوفا وطمعا إن رحمة الله قريب من المحسنين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والله يدعو إلى دار السلام. والله يدعو إلى دار السلام ويهدي من يشاء إلى صراط مستقيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يا أيها الناس إنا خلقناكم من ذكر وأنثى خلقناكم من ذكر وأنثى وجعلناكم شعوبا وقبائل لتعارفوا إن أكرمكم
الله عليم خبير صدق الله العظيم.
Thank you, Sheikh Ahmed, for that melodious recitation. Moving on quickly, I'd like to invite Sheikh Khalid to present the translation of those verses of the Quran.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Dear guests, it is a pleasure for me to welcome you to the Islamic Center of Ireland today. We began our program with short recite from the Noble Quran Kareem, which I will now translate. In the name of God, ever kind, ever merciful, ولا تفسدوا في الأرض بعد إصلاحها وادعوه خوفا وطمعا إن رحمة الله قريب من المحسنين. And do not corrupt the earth after it has been tried. Call on Him with trepidation and hope. The mercy of God is close to those who do good. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَاللَّهُ يَدْعُو إِلَى دَارِ السَّلَامِ وَيَهْدِي مَنْ يَشَاءُ إِلَى صِرَاطٍ مُسْتَقِيمٍ. And God calls to the place of peace and guides who He wills to the straight path. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, يا أيها الناس إنا خلقناكم من ذكر وأنثى وجعلناكم شعوبا وقبائل لتعارفوا إن أكرمكم عند الله أتقاكم إن الله عليم خبير. O humanity, we created you from man and woman and made you into nation and tribes, so that you might know one another, and the best argument amongst you in the sight of God is the most fair of you. Jazakumullah khairan. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you for that translation and the recitation of the Quran. There was a verse in that stood out to me, which is, the Quran says, لَتَعَارَفُوا. That the purpose of our creation is described as that we might know one another. And I think events like this, where we come together, different communities and different backgrounds to break bread, this very human action of sharing food, and to understand more about one another, that is a really integral part of our human nature and existence, and I think it is something that is missing in today's world to a large extent. To try and tackle that absence of mutual understanding and interaction is one of the major goals and purposes of the Irish Muslim Peace and Integration Council, or IMPIC. Over the last few years, and it would be difficult really to imagine, even though Sheikh Dr. Umar has been working for a slightly longer period of time, it is not really a large amount of time that IMPIC has been in existence. And yet despite that, through our projects, through our work, through the programs we've delivered, the events we've delivered, with the pinnacle of them being the Eat Prayer in Croke Park, we have achieved even international headlines. And that is something that is often missing from global media discourse on Islam and Muslims. It's normally a negative portrayal, it's normally a negative image and context in which Islam and Muslims make international headlines. I think it's to the credit of Sheikh Dr. Umar, it's to the credit of the entire MPIC team, and I also think it's to the credit of the Irish nation that when Irish Muslims make international headlines, they are positive headlines. And I think when we compare or contrast with countries like Britain or France, of course extremism is always bad. Of course negative things that lead to negative headlines are bad, but they don't emerge out of a vacuum. They emerge out of a social setting of isolation and a lack of integration. And so that is what we are so keen on, is to build on this platform of integration. It's there in the name. This peace and integration being the two key goals which we've codified as our three core principles or our key core aims, are advocacy, policy, and bridge building. And if you reflect on them key core aims, you realize that from bridge building can be as simple as an on-the-ground one-to-one interaction, and then advocacy and policy are two very serious, two very technical businesses. And deliberately we wanted IMPIC to encompass all of them aspects of community work and community cohesion. We wanted them to encompass the one-to-one interactions, and we wanted them to encompass that lobbying and policy-making level of discussion as well. Because often when think tanks operate in a vacuum, it becomes an echo chamber of buzzwords and of cliches and people patting each other on the back, and reports are commissioned at the cost of millions of euros, and they never have any knock-on effect on the ground, on the communities they are meant to benefit. And so that's why we deliberately try to encompass both of these competencies and both of these strands of engagement within the one team, within the one roof, within the one community in IMPIC. And I think that is to our credit. I'd like to thank all of our guests, especially for coming tonight. There was one apology which we received, which was from the leader of Sinn Féin, Mary Lou MacDonald. Unfortunately, was coming tonight, but was unable to make it as she's unwell, which I think is probably a natural consequence of fighting an election. And so she has asked me to pass on her apologies, and also that she will be coming to see us after the 5th of May, probably on Friday for us. So that's just I know that our community is always keen to get selfies with Mary Lou, so there will be another opportunity. Without any further delay now, I'd like to invite Sheikh Dr. Umar to further welcome our guest and share a few of his thoughts with us this evening.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Akorja, Diaif, Agos, Assalamu alaikum. It is my pleasure to welcome all of you today to the Islamic Center of Ireland, to this annual community iftar. After 2 years in which there were restrictions and due to which we were unable to host the community iftar, we finally were able today to do so. Although from the emails and the contacts we received from our guests, we understand that still there are people that are a little bit reluctant to attend gatherings, large gatherings like this, especially when there is no masks. And also there are people that are really concerned that because a family member or somebody in the household has an infection or has catched the cold, they might transmit this to others. So they are concerned, and we totally understand that. And I would like to really thank you all for attending. I know that we have public representatives representing the Sinn Féin party, representing the Labour party. We have among the guests some that have come all the way from Brussels. Thank you very much. Some that have come all the way from Galway to be here with us, and we really appreciate that so much. Before me, Sheikh Ahmed, and Sheikh Khalid, both of these scholars, they are scholars from Egypt that are here to spend the month of Ramadan with us. And Sheikh Ahmed recited the Quran, and Sheikh Khalid gave a wonderful presentation of the translation of the Quran, although English is not his native language. I mean, in fact, he doesn't speak English at all. And the only time he speaks English is when I ask him to speak on the stage. So please give Sheikh Khalid a very big hand there. I noticed that after Sheikh Khalid presented the translation, there were some that were wanted to clap, but they were looking around, they were reluctant, like, is it appropriate? It's absolutely appropriate and absolutely fine. So please, can I ask you all to give a hand to all of the shuyukh, the two shuyukh, and the guests that have come from far and beyond. Ramadan this month is a very special month to 25% to 30% of the world's population. A month that is associated with fasting, a month that is associated with less sleeping, more reflection, to contemplate more spirituality, but also it is a month that we take a break from the culture of consumership. There is a culture around us that we even are so indulged in daily, certain things we do that we really don't need to do, and we can still survive without them. We have tasted that in the beginning of the pandemic, during the restrictions. Some of us, for example, love to go on a daily basis to Starbucks, a couple of times a day. And when these shops were closed, we suddenly realized that, we could actually survive without this. Some of us love to go outside and spend and indulge into this commercial atmosphere without actually stopping and thinking that, is it really important and significant for me to do this? Or can I actually abstain myself from this and make, rather than spending here, make that maybe useful to spend on something else, something that will benefit humanity. And the month of Ramadan is really all about that. We abstain ourselves throughout the day for 20 hours a day almost from the basic necessities, food and drink. So we train ourselves for 30 days, and this is why that we become more conscious as Muslims to look after the poor and needy in the society. In Ramadan, Zakatul Fitr, it's one of the charities that were given, and so important that the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said that you may fast for the whole month of Ramadan, but if you do not give Zakatul Fitr, your worship, you will not get the reward of that. And the companions of the Prophet, they were surprised that we fast for 30 days, and this is the summer in Saudi Arabia I'm talking about nowadays, in this extreme heat. And they will not get the reward until they do something else, and they asked the Prophet, Ya Rasulullah, what is that we have to do in order to get the reward of Ramadan? And the Prophet, peace be upon him, said, each one of you has to feed 2 poor people, 2 needy people. If you do so, at least minimum, then only you will get the reward of Ramadan. But it's a month in which the community comes together every day in this masjid, in this mosque, like all mosques around Ireland, around the world. In fact, there are iftar dinners. 100 people, they come together to pray, to eat first and foremost, but also then to pray. And the prayers last until 1 a.m. in the morning. So it's such an amazing time for us to be together. But what makes it special is really when we can share this experience with our neighbors, with our friends, those that do not share their faith, but share the same citizenship, share the same common humanity. And this is what one of the verses of the Quran that the Shaykh was reciting, which is so beautiful. Because as a Muslim, we are taught from the Quran about diversity. We are taught not just about diversity, we are taught to accept diversity. Because the Quran introduces mankind by saying, "O mankind, you all are created from a single male and female, and then God created you in different tribes and nations and races, divided you, not because one is superior, one is better than another. No. The only reason why there is diversity is so you may learn about each other." So the purpose is really to learn about each other, and this is why we have engagements such as these, and also why we, during the Eid prayer in Croke Park, which was a Muslim festival, Muslim celebration, but we were so honored that we were able to invite and we were able to host the archbishops. We were able to host the Jewish leadership of this country to send out a message that although we are celebrating, but we are celebrating together. And this is the message for today, that we may have differences in terms of faith, in terms of ideology, but there is something that binds us all together, and that is humanity, common humanity. And we should emphasize that. Unfortunately, in this day and age, we see less and less of that. Also, in the month of Ramadan, we are especially remembering those that are fleeing from war, from violence, from injustice. People from Palestine are suffering in Ramadan. Every year in Ramadan, they are unable to pray. Just they want to do the prayers, but they aren't, because the regime there, they do not allow them the religious freedom. And it's so sad to see that. On the other hand, we have seen a couple of months ago how suddenly in our neighborhood here in Europe, a very peaceful country, an amazing, beautiful country, Ukraine, was suddenly invaded by an occupied force. And it's so sad to see people then fleeing from war, from violence. But at the same time, I'm really proud, as an Irish Muslim, I'm so proud of Ireland, because Ireland has, when the people of Syria needed refuge, Ireland opened its doors and granted them refuge. And when the people of Ukraine needed them, Ireland opened its doors and welcomed them also. So please give a hand to our country, Ireland. We have among us some refugees from Ukraine also, from Palestine also. And I'm just going to end here because I really want everybody to listen to Sister Layla, who is from Ukraine, who has been here only for about a month with the Islamic Center of Ireland, and how she has been welcomed in this country. So thank you very much once again for coming, and I hope you will enjoy the delicious food. Thank you so much.
For those remarks. Me and Sheikh Umar have a disagreement. I say that the microphone is too quiet, and he says that I'm too quiet. And after listening to him there, I think the microphone is fine, and I'm too quiet. So now I'd like to invite, without any further delay, because we're flying through the time, Sister Layla to come and share her experience since she came to Ireland. To share her experience since she came to Ireland and just some of her thoughts.
Assalamu alaikum. Good afternoon, everybody. What I can say, I am really very grateful and thankful for people of Ireland who treat Ukrainians really as, if they are the closest relatives. And I didn't expect it to be at all. Because I was worried and I was terrified as I was coming to this country with my child by myself only. But every time, it doesn't matter what happens. If someone good happens to us or bad, we should always remind that there is Almighty upon us, and He brings us no matter to which place we are in. And we, according to the Ad-Duha, we might remind that it is told that tomorrow will become better than it is today. And we should think always this way, because Almighty has a plan for us. And we should trust and just treat each other as if all of us are relatives, because it is so. We don't know where we will be tomorrow, but we always should know that there are good people among us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Layla, for those sharing your thoughts and your feelings with us. I know that just as we break the fast, Sheikh Umar will be making a special prayer for the people of Palestine and Ukraine and everywhere that people are suffering. Just very briefly, let's try now local TV for Donnelly just to say just a few words.
These words will be very brief because how do you follow that? How do you follow Dr. Umar is that in their words of kindness and wisdom and friendship and peace, integration, all of those words that we talk about. And a lot of people talk about all of those words, But what's more important is that we live those words, that we experience those words with people who may not look like us, may not talk the same language, may not be of the same religion, may not live in the same country. But no matter where you go, our desire is always to meet, to talk, to share, to experience and to learn. And I think my joy being here is about also learning, because this is my first class, so I'm absolutely honoured. And when I got the email, I was really, really honoured to be invited. So I'm looking forward to it, I'm looking forward to the food, and I'm looking forward to talking to as many people and experience this evening as much as possible.
For those thoughts, and I know the poll, and I'm looking along the stage here. I know we have a few veterans of ProPAC here, so I'd like to invite Senator Marie Sherlock as well, just to say just a few words if you feel comfortable.
Thanks very much, Yusuf. And I want to say it's a real honour and privilege for me to be here today to celebrate, to be part of this celebration with yourselves. I think the work of the Muslim Integration and Peace Council has been a really important initiative in this country. And I think so much was said earlier about the positive message being sent out to the world about the Muslim community in this country and its efforts in terms of reaching out to Muslims across the world, but within here in Ireland as well. It's important as a Christian standing here with you that I'm here today to share in your celebration. So I want to thank you for the privilege and honour of being here, and to say that your work is so important. Ireland does have a great record in terms of welcoming Ukrainian refugees, particularly talking to standing up for Palestinians, and we continue to fight for Palestinians who are oppressed on a daily basis. But I suppose is to extend that hand of friendship and to say we want to work with you in the Council into the future, and thank you.
Those words, and I think there's perhaps something telling, and I'm not sure what the pattern is, but of the political guests who accepted our invitations this evening. They are both pro-Palestinian parties, and they are both parties that are led by women. So I think there's a lot to reflect on there. And now, as I mentioned, me and Dr. Umar have a disagreement on the microphone. That's someone who I know who's preaching probably needs no microphone. We have guests from Brussels, we have guests from Galway, we also have someone who's come all the way from Belfast to be with us today. An old friend of Inpic and ourselves. I'd just like to invite Reverend Karen just to take the final slot and headline.
Wow, what an honour to be here. My name is Reverend Karen Sekaraman, and I come from Belfast, which is in the north of Ireland. I want to say thank you so much. This has probably been a highlight for me for quite some time. When the hand of friendship is reached out, I think it's important that we take it. The heartbeat of my faith from a Christian perspective is to love God and love my neighbour. And I have such a heart and a vision that Ireland becomes a nation of neighbours. You are my neighbour and I am your neighbour. You are my friends and I am your friend. You are my community and I am your community. You are my people and I am your people. And I want us together to build an island of neighbours. Whatever our backgrounds, whatever our story. Thank you to the sisters over here who spent some time telling me some of your stories. What an honour. So may we build this nation of neighbours on friendship, hospitality, acceptance and grace. So thank you so much for the honour of being here tonight.
Thank you, Reverend Cameron, for those words, and also for travelling all the distance from Belfast to be here with us today. I think also we have Councillor Tanya Doyle, would you like to invite to say a few words here? Councillor Tanya Doyle here?
Thank you so much. Salam alaikum. How are you? This is my second time to visit, and I'm delighted to be here this evening and celebrate your wonderful festival. I've met a lot of you outside in the community. I represent the younger ward, and I recognise some faces. I said hello to some people that were recognised, and it's great to see all the women over there as well. Hi, how are you? And it's great to see the community from Ukraine as well. I mean, it's horrific what's going on over there, and all over the world. There's so much, how they say, anger, unsettlement, Syria, Palestine, Ukraine. It's very, very sad. But it's great, as an Irish nation, we open our arms and we welcome. And I welcome everybody from Ukraine, from if they're either here or through the heart or soul, to everybody over there that's suffering such a horrific time. So enjoy your celebrations. I didn't expect to be saying a few words this evening. I was a little bit late because I came from something else. But it's lovely to see you all, and again, salam alaikum.
Tanya, for that. And now I think we are about 6 minutes from the breaking of the fast. So just to conclude our program, before we move on to breaking of the actual fast and food, Sheikh Dr. Al-Qadri is going to pray for peace in Palestine, in Ukraine, and around the world.
Just before the dua, all of you have received water and dates. For those that are here with us for the first time, we Muslims, when we open our fast or when we break our fast, we start eating. We do that according to the prophetic teaching and the prophetic sunnah, which is the tradition of the Prophet. The Prophet, peace be upon him, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he used to open his fast with a date, and then after that he would drink water. So this is our kind of practice. This is why everybody has been given a date from Medina, I believe, and water. So after the dua, supplication, the azan, the call to prayer, will be said by one of the sheikhs, and we will all get ready for the prayer. So before we have the food, we just have to pray Maghrib, the evening prayer. So we will perform the prayer. Our guests that have joined us, they are welcome to observe us from the side, to the walls, because all of us will be standing here. The sisters on that side, the brothers on this side. Then after the prayer, regarding the sunnahs, I would like to ask all my brothers and sisters, pray sunnahs and that's it, and make dua. Then the brothers and the sisters, the volunteers, are going to put the sheets on the ground to prepare for the food. So that will take a little bit time, but I would like to ask Brother Rashid to please supervise the whole process. And then sisters, the sisters that are volunteering, Sister Layla and others, Sister Hanan, if you can kindly make sure that everything goes all right. The guests that have joined us, the sheep here in the front, that the table will be here in front. I would like to ask you to join us there after the prayer on this sheet. And then there will be many others for the other brothers and sisters that come to the masjid and are part of the congregation. So please, if you can all recite once Astaghfirullah al-Azim with me loudly like this. Astaghfirullah al-Azim الذي لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم وأتوب إليه لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له له الملك وله الحمد يحيي ويميت وهو حي لا يموت بيده الخير وهو على كل شيء قدير. الفاتحة. اللهم صل على سيدنا ونبينا محمد النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه وبارك وسلم وصل عليه. اللهم ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم. اللهم فاغفر لنا ذنوبنا وكفر عنا سيئاتنا وتوفنا مع الأبرار. يا عزيز يا غفار يا رب العالمين. Ya Allah, please accept our fasting in the month of Ramadan. Ya Allah, please accept our ibadah in the month of Ramadan. Ya Allah, please accept our charity in the month of Ramadan. And Ya Allah, Ya Arhamar Rahimeen, grant us the nur of the Quran. Grant us the nur of the Quran. And Ya Allah, Ya Arhamar Rahimeen, those that have organized the iftar throughout the month in the masjid, give them great reward in this dunya and akhirah. Ya Allah, Ya Arhamar Rahimeen, especially on this blessed night of Jum'ah, we ask you, wherever mankind is facing trouble, facing difficulty, and mankind is suffering, Ya Allah, remove the suffering. Ya Allah, remove the troubles. Ya Allah, wherever mankind is facing war, injustice, and violence, especially our brothers and sisters in Palestine, our brothers and sisters in Ukraine, and all other parts of the world, Ya Allah, where the innocent people are killed and are being attacked, Ya Allah, remove their suffering, Ya Allah. Grant, Ya Allah, grant them justice, Ya Allah. Grant them victory over the oppressors, Ya Allah. And Ya Allah, Ya Arhamar Rahimin, whoever is helping, assisting, supporting those that are suffering, Ya Allah, Ya Arhamar Rahimin, give them reward in this dunya and akhirah, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, let there be peace everywhere, Ya Allah. Let there be peace in Jerusalem, Ya Allah. Let there be peace in Bayt al-Ham, Ya Allah. Let there be peace in Bayt al-Muqaddas, Ya Allah. Let there be peace in Masjid al-Aqsa, Ya Allah. Let there be peace in Ukraine, Ya Allah. Let there be peace in the whole world, Ya Allah. Ya Arhamar Rahimeen, and make us all people that truly represent the peaceful message of Islam, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, Ya Arhamar Rahimeen, our sisters and brothers throughout the month of Ramadan that are donating for the masjid and that are putting extra efforts throughout the month of Ramadan, Ya Allah, give them all reward for this, Ya Allah. صلى الله تعالى على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. When the Shaykh is going to say the call to prayer, we all start eating. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
الله أكبر الله أكبر. الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله 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 أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
Sisters, I would like to pray, can pray either here or either they can go upstairs also, whatever they like, whatever they choose. And also after the prayer, can I ask Brother Shafqat, Brother Rashid, please quickly to put the dastarkhan here for our guests, inshallah.
الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
استووا أقيموا صفوفكم واعتدلوا. Please stand shoulder to shoulder. May Allah Ta'ala have mercy on us all. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. أعوذ برب الناس ملك الناس إله الناس من شر الوسواس الخناس الذي يوسوس في صدور الناس من الجنة والناس. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. أحمد أنا شفتك موبايل.
Yeah, but this is live, you know. Yeah, so you can see, so like. But I don't think so. I think here. No, you were there.
Rehab. What are you doing? You could just say hi. You don't have to do the job.
We will see. I think it's the last time we stay
Yeah. Very cool.
I'm not sure.
Shake. I don't know which shake, but yeah, shake.
From some embassy or something.
किधर करेंगे फिर
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Brothers and sisters, please, if you are volunteering, please stand. Otherwise, please remain seated. As you can see, it is packed, mashallah. So we want to make sure everybody gets food. So please, if you're not volunteering, please take a seat. Sit down. And our guests that have come, please, if they can join us here. आरिफ भाई, जब इनको खाना मिल जाए उसके बाद हमारी बहनों को फिर खाने दें प्लीज। एक्सपेक्ट शफकत भाई, बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम। मेरे ख्याल में ये ऐलान जरा मुझे करना पड़ेगा हमारी बहनों के लिए कि इंशाल्लाह खाना आ रहा है। बार बार मुझे हमारी गेस्ट हैं, पहले इनको दे दें, उसके बाद इंशाल्लाह आपको देंगे, परेशान मत हो। और भाई हमारे जो है वो वैसे ही प्रवेश में पूछ ही रखा नहीं। No, first ladies first. Ladies, okay, we start. First ladies, ladies first. I'm just telling them that don't worry, inshallah, we are just doing everything.
Thank you.